guys, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. Gemma here. I wanted to talk a little bit about sitting with anxiety. Now, we get asked this a lot. So how do you sit with anxiety? So we don't mean physically, we don't mean as soon as you feel anxious, stop what you're doing, sit down and let the anxiety be there. Unless you're already sitting down, say you're sat watching TV and the anxiety comes on, stay sat, stay watching TV. It just means doing exactly what you're currently doing with the anxiety present. So not going into a compulsive behavior, not avoiding anything, not changing anything externally or internally, because quite often we see anxiety as something that can be controlled externally. So if I change where I am, if I change what I'm doing, that will stop me from being anxious. And it may for a minute, because if you do a compulsion, sometimes it does bring a little bit of relief, absolutely. But it only makes it worse because you feed that fear cycle, you reinforce the belief, this thing's too scary, I can't experience it, and therefore it comes on stronger. So it's really important to not change what you're doing. I had so many times where I would be, bowling was one that always triggered me for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe it's just because I feel like I can't leave because we're in the middle of anything that I felt like I couldn't leave triggered me. So things like bowling, planes was a big one, because you literally cannot get out. Going for a haircut, going to a play, going to the cinema, anything where I felt like I had to stay there and I couldn't leave, that used to really trigger me. So I completely forgot the original point I was saying now. I was going on a bit of a tangent. So yeah, it's really important to realise that it's not the external that needs check. The external isn't the problem. You're not anxious because you're in a pub. You're not anxious because you're in a plane. You're anxious because because the way that you're viewing that, so your perception of that, because otherwise everyone would be anxious in a plane, everyone would be anxious in a pub, everyone would be anxious when they're playing bowling. They're not. That's not the problem. The problem isn't what you're doing, it's how you perceive what you're doing, the fear that you've attached to that. So the fear there with the not being able to escape something is, I can't stand not being able to leave somewhere, and I am probably going to have a panic attack and pass out, and that would be terrible, and everyone's going to look at me and judge me and perceive me badly. And it's all of those things that are the problem, not the actual place you are. Otherwise everyone would feel anxious in that place. So it's really important to sit with the anxiety, because every time you try and change something when you're feeling anxious, you're just reinforcing the belief. Every single time you leave somewhere, you've just reaffirmed in your head that thing's terrifying, therefore I can't experience it, therefore I have to leave. So next time when you do try and stay, it is going to feel harder because you've spent time now reinforcing that belief. But the more you do it, the more you do stay and you do carry on with what you're doing, the more those fear signals will start to come down, because you're showing that you can handle it. That's all that you need to do with OCD, is show that you can handle it. And you do that by not changing what you're doing or what you're thinking or anything, just allowing yourself to sit in that moment with that anxiety without changing a thing. Thank you for watching, guys. If you're interested in OCD Recovery's coaching services, you can email phil@ocdrecovery.com or send a message to the WhatsApp, and the number for that will be on the screen now. Thank you.